With all the commotion going on in the last few years and the resurfacing of extreme white supremacy parties, such as the Ku Klux Klan on news media outlets, we wonder how this affects our culture. Vincent Valdez was inspired to paint the City One to represent how members of the Ku Klux Klan, under their disguises, can be anybody. It is possible that there are city politicians, police chiefs, parents, neighbors, community leaders, academics, church members, and even business owners. In the painting, Valdez is able to show how the members of the Ku Klux Klan are gathering in the outskirts of a city performing mundane tasks, such as gossiping and texting. They almost seem relatable. Valdez is able to use the contrast of old or past ideologies with the modern technology. To understand the painting, The City One, and its intended message, we must consider the monochromatic color scheme, the extensive past and present analogies, and the deep effects of American patriotism in advertisement. You're probably wondering what makes a painting monochromatic. Monochromatic means that the artist used only one shade or hue of a color. For example, Valdez only used black and white hues to make his painting. Valdez purposely used monochromatic color schemes to signify the past, especially the 1920s when the Ku Klux Klan was at its height in popularity. He then added new technologies such as the power lines located on the left of the painting, a hooded member holding a 2016 special edition can of Budweiser, another hooded member in the middle of the painting texting on an iPhone, and a Chevrolet truck at the right of the painting to bring it to the 21st century. In the past, there had been a string of artists that have had to deal with the subject of the Ku Klux Klan. Artists such as Philip Guston, who in 1969 painted City Lights. In City Lights depicts the animated version of 3 KKK members patrolling the city in order to fight against integration. Another artist, Gil Scott-Heron, made a cover of the song called The Klan. In the song, Gil sings, "And each wore a mask of white to hide his cool face from sight, and each one sucked a hungry breath out of the empty lungs of death." In these examples, we can see how the Ku Klux Klan members are portrayed as unhuman-like or violent, but Valdez wanted to have an eerie feeling that besides the violence that the Ku Klux Klan members have portrayed and enforced throughout history, they are capable of doing mundane, everyday activities. In present day, according to PBS.org and the Ku Klux Klan scholar David Cunningham, there are more chapters of the KKK organized today than there was ever in any other date in history since the Ku Klux Klan started in 1866. Although he reinforces that even though the greater number of chapters throughout the United States, they are still lacking any real or political or social influence. Furthermore, one study done by the Oxford University Press in 1967 showed that out of 110 active Klan members in Chicago, Illinois, 60.8% were considered white-collar workers, whereas only 38.8% were considered blue-collar workers. With this in mind, we have to remember that American culture favors individuals who are not part of communities of color. The Ku Klux Klan motto is to protect American lifestyle and values. It is with this mindset that the deep-rooted American patriotism in the advertising industry has affected our culture. For example, in 1988, Chevrolet had a campaign with a slogan that said, "The Heart of America." Another similar example that occurred more recently in 2016 was a special edition Budweiser beer can that was used in a campaign that stated, "America is in your hands," to get people to understand the civil right of voting. It is this type of blanket advertisement that allows white supremacy groups like the Ku Klux Klan to feel the right to exclude anybody who does not fit their part in what they considered American values. Finally, By understanding what a monochromatic color scheme is and what it adds to the painting, the past and present analogies, and recognizing the effects of American patriotism that are instilled in the advertising industry, we can comprehend why Valdez wanted to portray the members of the Ku Klux Klan as being capable of doing mundane activities instead of rooted violence. As we have learned, anyone can be a Ku Klux Klan member. In the course of this 4-minute speech, I hope that the painting "The City One" by Vincent Valdez has helped you reflect on how even ideologies that don't directly affect you can affect our culture as a whole, and how systemic oppression and disenfranchisement of individuals or communities of color has continued to go on into this century.